hidden inside the divine bell at Ba Vang Pagoda has left many people astonished. Greetings, dear viewers, welcome back to the latest episode of Top Secret. Dear friends, when mentioning True Pagoda in Uong Bai City, people often think first of the Yen-Tu temple system. However, in recent years, Ba Vang Pagoda in Uong Bai has become a pilgrimage site and spiritual tourism destination no less appealing than Yen-Tu. Ba Vang is the colloquial name, while the official name of the pagoda is Ba Vang Pagoda. The pagoda is located on Ba Vang Mountain in Tan Son Ward, about 1 kilometer from the Luang San ecotourism area. According to the remaining seal of the pagoda, Ba Vang Mountain was formerly called Pan Dang Mountain. Ba Vang Pagoda sits on a flat, spacious area of approximately 1,000 square meters. The architectural traces of bricks and tiles buried beneath the current pagoda's foundation reveal it was built at least in the 17th-18th century, with a fairly large scale. Venerable Ishtrut Nen, the abbot of Ba Vang Pagoda, shared that in 1987, a local elderly farmer unexpectedly lost a herd of cattle. The farmer searched everywhere, constantly praying to heaven and chanting for help. Go up Ba Vang Mountain to find the herd of cattle. Though half believing and half doubting, due to his attachment to the property, the farmer decided to follow a small trail up the mountain and reach a wide, flat area. Due to a stumble, he discovered steps made of bricks. The farmer spread the news to the villagers, and at that very moment, the herd of cattle returned home without missing a single one. Due to this miraculous coincidence, the villagers eagerly gathered here and found artifacts such as a stone incense burner and stone pillars, carved from monolithic stone. The incense burner is rectangular, measuring 1.45 meters high, 0.29 meters wide. On top of the incense burner is a lotus bowl shape. The seal was made during the reign of Le Du Tong in 1706. It measures 0.70 meters high, 0.45 meters wide, 0.14 meters thick, erected on a base 0.40 meters high, 0.9. Following the farmer's discovery, researchers and scientists stepped in to investigate the origins of this structure. According to documents, in the 13th century during the Tran dynasty, King Tran Yan Tong left the Golden Palace and Jade Halls to practice asceticism. Le Du Tong was the founder of the Trup Lan Yen Tu Zen sect, a Zen lineage of Ba Vang Pagoda is a branch of Trup Lan Yen Tu, based on archaeological excavations of soil layers of the pagoda's foundation. The terracotta roof tiles are trough-shaped and light pink, measuring 30 by 15 centimeters. The tile ends resemble the tips of official boots. The terracotta floor bricks measure 40 by 40 centimeters. All the bricks are decorated with a 4-petaled flower, a pattern from the Tran dynasty. All the tiles, bricks, and fragments found bear the cultural characteristics of the Tran dynasty. This indicates that during the Tran dynasty, a pagoda existed here, but specific details about its founders and history are unclear. Since its discovery in 1987, the pagoda remained tranquil, witnessing the changes of time and space. Throughout that quiet period, Ba Vang Pagoda had no abbot. Thus, the path up the mountain became increasingly overgrown, and the previous renovations by the authorities gradually, Ba Vang Pagoda resembled a desolate, cold, and abandoned temple. In 2007, the local authorities earnestly invited Venerable Ishtrut Nen, who was then the head of the guest department at Trung Lap Yen Tu Zen Institute, to preside over Ba Vang Pagoda. Facing a dilapidated and abandoned pagoda, Venerable Ishtrut Nen suddenly felt a very strange emotion welling up inside. Stranger still, the pond in the pagoda's courtyard, previously dry, suddenly filled with water again. Taking it as a sign, Venerable Ishtrut Nen resolved to rebuild the pagoda, promote Buddhist teachings, and save all sentient beings. The marvel of this sacred land is still recounted by locals, including the legend of the ancient divine pond. Although located at an altitude of 340 meters above sea level, the pond never runs dry. And this water flows from within the mountain, cool and refreshing year-round. Legend has it that on New Year's Eve, anyone fortunate enough to drink a sip of the pure water here will be cured of many illnesses. Feng Shui masters say the pond is located at the Dragon's Eye of this spiritual land, as shared by Venerable Ishtrut Nen. After the people requested the restoration and renovation of Ba Vang Pagoda, the Venerable Master, along with disciples, and the local authorities invested much heart, wisdom, and effort into it.
Thanks to that sincere aspiration resonating, enlightening disciples and people alike.
They wholeheartedly contributed resources and efforts to build the current Ba Vang Pagoda.
Not only is there the divine pond at Ba Vang Pagoda, but other locations also have stories of strange ponds emerging.
Located high in the mountains, from the center of Not Lao Commune, Lac Sun District, Ba Vang Province, just a few more kilometers and we'll reach Ba Vang District, Han Hoa Province. Not Lao also shares the same difficulties with Ba Vang District regarding the limestone terrain. The land lacks water, so only corn can be grown, with very little rice cultivation area. In Hop Village, Mr. Bui Van Kai, over 20 years old, spoke in a tone that was both circumstantial and proud. Our Hop Village has nothing more valuable or worth mentioning than the sacred well in the middle of the village. Since humans first appeared here, the well has existed, and it has never dried up. The entire village's drinking, bathing, washing, and rice field irrigation water all comes from this well.
On sunny days, at noon, you can even see 2 streams of yellow and white water flowing from a log.
Right next to the village chief Koi's house is the home of Mrs. Bui Tioi, who is 88 years old this year. She is still sharp and understands the Vietnamese, but can only respond in the Muon language. She understands but cannot speak. Mrs. Oi smiled toothlessly. So Mrs. Oi listened to my question and answered in the characteristic echoing voice of Highland dwellers. Mrs. Oi's story was translated into Vietnamese. That's a sacred well of the Muon people at her house, very sacred. If not careful you might even have your soul cat. The well has existed for a very long time. Originally it was just a water source. After being renovated it was called a well. Mrs. Oi recalled the story she heard when she was still a child. The elders said, in ancient times when the earth and water deities created the land and water, this well was for both humans and animals to drink from. In the old days there were many wild animals, including many tigers. When we saw them we just avoided them and didn't hunt them because all species had equal right to live. In the past, fewer people were eaten by wild animals than were captured by the forest ghost. It captured many people and took them back to Mountain Cave. Ordinary people couldn't do anything so they sought help from the most famous shaman in Muon Bai. He stepped on the Ba River, rode clouds to Not Lao and cast spells to deal with the forest ghost. He also instructed people to regularly bathe in the water source in the middle of Hop Village, and the forest ghosts were no longer captured
because that water source was bestowed by the mountain deity.
When asked about the log at the bottom of the well, Mrs. Loy recounted.
She heard the elders say it was part of the shaman's staff that broke during the fight with the forest ghost.
That's been many years, no one remembers exactly. If the logs are taken out, the well water disappears and doesn't.
Having witnessed the well water scattering, and being directly involved in pulling the tree branch from the well,
Mr. Bui Van recounted, back when I was still young, it's been nearly 20 years now.
Mr. Nian,
the cooperative chairman at that time, said there was some UNICEF fund, the United Nations Children's Fund, that supported improving water systems for poor communes. The water source in Hop Village also needed improvement. The mud needed to be dredged. I and 6 to 7 other guys jumped into the water source, tied a rope to the log and pulled it up. When we pulled the log to the shore, the water level dropped by half, but a few days later it completely dried up.
Only mud was left, no more water for drinking.
The pond next to the well also dried up completely. People were very scared. Without water, how would they grow rice? So they put the log back in. The next morning, when the whole village came to pull it, they found the well full of water again. The water in the adjacent pond also flows from the well, murky rather than clear like the well water. Various gold, black, and white fish of different sizes still live in the well. The fish live naturally. When they grow big, households take turns catching them to eat. Around the well, there are always many people coming to bathe. The bustling scene commonly seen at village wells in the lowlands pales in comparison.
Women and girls still bathe in the nude, exactly as we had heard before.
In Not Lao, nude bathing is a specialty. Now at Hop Village Well, 2 streams of white and yellow water flow up from the approximately 2-meter-long log.
The log still has the rough bumps of an old tree. The reasons I heard about why the log lies at the bottom of the well are different.
The stories of Mrs. Oloy and Mr. Trent said, I only know that when I was young, I heard it buffaloes would yelp. I heard the elders say there was Mr. Stone Temple, Mr. Stone from the temple, so he was called Mr. Stone Temple. The lower hamlet he spared. Each meal consumes 9 kilograms of rice.
He was so big and mature that even the golden fly couldn't bite him.
eating 9 kilograms of rice per meal. The Muong people told each other they must kill the temples. If we let him eat like that, he'll finish all the rice of our Muong people. People discussed together, taking advantage of when the temple stood, to chop down a branch of the Noi tree so it would crush him to death. Because people said in the old days the tree was very big, with its roots all the way in Nakha. In Not Sun Kanyu, passing through Nak Lao was just a branch, while Tan Lo was way down in Tan Mai Ko Kanyu. No one knows if the temple stone man died or not. But part of the Noi tree branch fell into a well in the middle of Hot Village. Mr. Bui Van Shen, 79 years old, was a road and bridge worker awarded the Anti-American Resistance War Medal. Mr. Chin told another story about the well in Ha. Long ago there were 2 brothers. The older brother lived in Teen Hamlet, while the younger brother lived here at Ha. Thanks to the sacred well, the younger brother could go on, had enough to eat all year round, was prosperous, and often helped neighbors so everyone respected. The older brother up above saw this and became very jealous. So he climbed up the Noi tree branch to crush the younger brother. But the Noi branch only hid beside the well, not the younger brother's house.
Mr. Chin recounted that the well belongs to the mountain deity.
Water flows from the mountain through the ground and emerges here. In the old days the well was very big, as large as Mr. Ko's entire house. Mr. Chin's house is nearly 3 times the size of the well. When they built a stone enclosure around it, it became this. The 16 hectares of rice in Kook village also depend on the sacred wells, while other villages only have 2 or 3 hectares. Hearing the stories told by Kook villagers, someone asked, if the sacred well is so miraculous, do our people have any special ways of treating the sacred well, sir?
Yes, but people have abandoned it for decades now.
Mr. Chin spoke slowly, with a somewhat sad tone. In the past, every year on the 7th day of the 7th month, the village shaman would come to the well to perform ceremonies. Each household in the village would prepare a bundle of incense,
a bottle of homemade liquor, a plate of sticky rice from the new harvest, and a chicken. Each household would bring out their own mat,
place the offerings on the mat, and kneel and listen to the shaman perform his.
There was someone who beat a gong to inform the deity about the harvest.
The households would thank the deity for giving them a bountiful harvest, and pray to the deity for perpetual good harvests so that people could have enough to eat. The worship ceremony lasted from the 4th to the 27th, continuing day and night. Every evening each household would have a torch, illuminating the entire forest corner. Someone else asked Mr. Chen, hello sir, many people say that 4 to 5 people were taken by the deity.
Have you heard about this, sir? Mr. Chin laughed.
People say that, but it is a deity. What deity would take innocent people?
When he was young,
around 16 to 17 years old, it's true that 4 to 5 people were taken.
But they were all 3 to 4-year-old children who drowned, not taken by anyone. Around that well with the log blocking the water flow, there are still many mysterious stories. These very stories have preserved some cultural aspects
from the primordial era of the Muong community here.
Additionally, the story about the sacred well in Tai Bin capable of curing memory loss
has also attracted much attention. From ancient times to the present, for the residents of Kai Bo village, Cho Temple is not merely a historical relic of Pak Jose,
but hidden within this centuries-old temple are tales of the divine well.
Cho Temple is located in Kai Bo village, facing the sea.
The ancient and mysterious well mentioned lies within the temple grounds.
Tui Trong Commune has a total of 5 ancient wells, each hundreds of years old. But the well within Cho Temple's grounds is considered the most sacred by locals. In a coastal area like Kai Bo village, which annually suffers saltwater intrusion from Tui Tru,
almost all ancient wells here have a brackish and slightly salty taste. However, the well within Cho Temple's grounds provides fresh, cool water that never runs dry. And notably, according to many locals, the well water can alleviate memory decline, even memory loss. In the past, the well water within the temple also helped villagers overcome numerous dreadful diseases. Kai Bo villagers often call this well the Dragon Eye Well.
When asked about the origin of the name Dragon Eye Well, Mr. Vu Dan Dan, 78, the temple keeper, recounted that Cho Temple worships 2 generals, named Tuat Nai Long and Dong Kong Nguyen Zoi, 2 generals under the reigns of King Tran Yan Tong and Tran Tan Tong.
These 2 generals were tasked with guarding Dai Bang Sea Gate, now Tai Bin Sea Gate. The parents of the 2 generals were Tran KY and Dao Tiju. Due to infertility, they only gave birth to the 2 at age 60 in the Mai Lin, Hong Yan area today.
That year, drought and crop failure forced the family to migrate to Da Nang Sea to live,
later building trust and becoming leaders of the local people.
In the spring of 1285, the Yuan-Mongol army invaded. The two used empty boats, set adrift at sea, deceiving the enemy to rescue King Tran Yan Tong and Tran Tan Tong. King Tran Yan Tong, grateful for the life-saving, appointed the two generals to guard Da Bang Sea area.
On the 8th day of the first month, 1288, the two led the people in resisting the Yuan-Mongol army.
Foiling their plot to invade our country via Da Bang Sea. After defeating the Yuan-Mongol army, people living near Da Bang Sea faced a cholera epidemic.
The two mobilized people to dig wells for water, but all wells had no water. And those with water were brackish or too salty to use. In the villagers' crisis, the two gathered 10 geomancy masters to select a groundwater spot and dig a well for drinking. Strangely, after using the well water, people felt healthier and the epidemic receded.
Before leaving, the geomancy master left a message for the two generals. This is a land of royal audience, and the well was dug right at the dragon's eye. So the well water is extremely precious, capable of curing many diseases and benefiting the people. Then the geomancy master bid farewell and departed.
Heeding the master's words, the two generals and people regarded the well water as holy and invaluable.
Previously, a group of Chinese came here intending to suppress the land's energy. Holding a sword, thrust it into the ground near the well, and instructed the buffalo herd
not to pull the sword out during the ritual. However, though thrust halfway deep, the sword floated up and fell.
The Chinese were terrified, dared not continue the suppression and returned to their country.
When asked about the ability to cure memory loss,
Mr. Ben was honest.
But truly, there's no reason why those with memory-related illnesses gradually recovered their memories when using the well water for tea or cooking. Then, to prove his statement, Mr. Ben went inside the temple. He took out a rather old merit book. He flipped through the lines of text and stopped at the name of a woman, Du Ti Queen Lan.
With address in El Min Hanoi, Queen Trong Kanyan, High Queen District. Next was the name of Mr. Luke Wong Kong, address in Tanda Kanyan, Phu Phu District, Hong Yen Province.
These are a few representative names who drank the dragon's tear well water and recovered their memory.
After recovering from illness, they voluntarily returned to contribute merits to rebuild the temple, because they were all seriously ill patients I remember very clearly.
Mrs. Mai is now over 50 years old. When asked about her memory loss condition,
Mrs. Mai confided, hearing from family members recount, in 2009.
While attending her son's wedding, she was in a bus accident. Through the treatment process, doctors concluded she had head trauma leading to memory loss. Her family sought treatment, but her condition didn't improve.
She even couldn't recognize her own husband and children.
The condition lasted until 2010. It seemed she would lose her memory permanently. But later, a neighbor introduced her to the Dragon's Tear Mud Well Hamlet to drink water. Half believing, half doubting, but her family still took her to the well for treatment. Then after 4 months of persistently fetching water to drink, my memory suddenly recovered.
Her family was overjoyed and wanted to thank the sacred temple, so despite her age,
every year she and her children go there once to worship,
contribute merits and fetch water from the Dragon's Tear well 3 times. Sitting nearby listening to his wife's story, Mr. Fan Bang went ahead. My wife has been completely cured for several years now, though I don't believe in ghosts or spirits.
But I cannot explain why that well water is so effective.
Of course, not only drinking the Dragon's Tear well water, my wife also had to undergo treatment. But the strange capability of the Dragon's Tear well cannot be denied.
Similar to Mrs. Mai's case,
Mr. Luke Wong Kong also suffered memory loss from a fall from scaffolding, but due to difficult family circumstances, having no money for treatment,
Mr. Khan hardly used any treatment methods.
However, after a long period of painstakingly traveling to fetch water from the Dragon's Tear well to drink,
Mr. Khan's memory suddenly recovered. In 2012, the temple was renovated more spaciously with contributions from local people. Having little money to contribute, to thank the spirits for restoring his memory, Mr. Khan traveled from afar to Phi Trong Commune asking to stay and help with renovation work. When the renovation was completed, he asked permission to return home.
Not only effective for treating memory loss, many elderly villagers also recount that children with skin diseases, sores, come to the temple to fetch Dragon's Farewell water for bath. Their conditions also improve. Mr. Doon Up Now, Vice Chairman of Fleet Tron Commune People's Committee, said the healing capability of Dragon's Farewell water has been passed among local people for years.
I myself have witnessed many cases traveling from afar to contribute merits,
Expressing gratitude after recovering.
However, whether Dragon's Tear well water has healing capabilities still cannot be concluded.
Given the situation during festival days, many tourists flock to the temple to worship and request Dragon's Tear well.
The commune authorities have urged people not to spread rumors when the truth is unknown to maintain security and order in the commune.